Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different and probably a little bit dramatic. I don't think it's necessary to do, but it feels necessary for me to do. I've sat down to film like a girl talk. I asked for questions on my Instagram like twice and it just didn't feel right. I don't know why. I think I'm just like out of that phase. Giving other people advice, I don't know, it feels irresponsible for me to be giving advice. So instead of that, I wanted to do something that felt a bit more authentic to me and the person I'm kind of like changing into. And just in general, I kind of wanted to do like a little catch up, like just talk level with you guys. So instead of like this being a me giving you advice on specific questions that you asked me, it's pretty much just going to be like a catch up kind of talk. I've got 4 proper topics that like are the main questions that you guys usually ask me, and we're just gonna talk like we're friends. So I've got some tea. It's really hot and it's like purple, so it's kind of freaking me out a bit. It stinks as well. I've been through a bit of a mental turmoil this year, probably like 2 years, probably like my whole life. But more specifically this year, I'm sure you guys have noticed, I just like haven't got a grip on my life this year. I don't think I've ever had a grip on my life, but I think this year, along with everybody else, it's been like the focal point of my life has been like my mental health. I'm just becoming one of those people who just lets it like absorb them. Like it's like all I would think about really. And I'm pretty sure it was quite obvious on my channel this year. I just feel like the content I was bringing out, just there was something missing. And I feel like there's been something missing from my channel for like probably 1.5 years now. And I've just been struggling with my mental health a lot. And I feel like I've been putting myself through the ringer. I've been putting my family through the ringer and you guys. So I just kind of wanted to talk. I've been talking about mental health on my channel for so long this year. Like, oh my god, I'm so happy. Oh my god, I'm depressed. Oh my god, I'm happy again. These are all ideas, and then I don't do them and I'm depressed again. And so I just felt like I really owed myself and you guys to just like talk it out, because I'm just in a really normal place right now and I'm never normal. Like I'm either really happy or like depressed. And so it just feels so good for the first time in my life to just like be not necessarily fantastic, but just like normal. You know, I'm not like terrified of being bad, so I don't give so much power to it that it like ruins my life for a good month. Which brings me to my first topic. I'm going to be trying to be as least objective as I can be, because these are just personal experiences that I'm sharing with you guys. Everything I say, take it with a grain of salt, because this is just kind of what I'm going through at the moment. So someone asked me what my favorite book is, so I think I'll just group like mental health and this book in the same topic. Oh, this tastes really bad. So my favorite book, one of my goals this year was to just read. I'm gonna be talking a lot in this video. Just to preface, I'm gonna be super honest and I'm gonna be no filter, and just talk a lot probably. So grab yourself a cup of tea or a glass of wine, get in your PJs, get a snack, because I'm just gonna be talking shit. So my favorite book, I really wanted to get more into reading this year, as I said. I never thought I'd be a reader, but here I am. Still takes me like a good 3 months to read one book, but we read. I wouldn't necessarily say this is my favorite book of all time, but right now it honestly, I'm gonna sound super gung-ho, but this book actually changed my life. And I'm not the type of person who usually like is super thrown off by things, but this actually like just blew me away and I didn't expect it to. I was excited about reading it, but it genuinely changed my life. Called The Courage to Be Disliked. Not to mention like the cover of the book is just stunning, isn't it? I'm honestly not even finished it. I've still got like 80 pages to go. It's a philosophy book and like a psychology book. I've always been someone who is just so consumed by their thoughts, like constantly just in my head thinking about things, trying to figure out the answer to why I think a certain way. Like I'm constantly just talking to myself in my head, and I think I have everything figured out. I've always just felt like, because I'm so in my head, I know everything about myself and there's no one that could like tell me any differently. Like no one knows me more than I know myself. Like no one could help me. it was kind of like this downward spiral of me just being in my head constantly, and everything that came into my head I would dissect, and it was like fact. And I think that that has been like the biggest thing that caused me so much mental strain, is that I just manifested all these thoughts into these massive monsters when really they were just fleeting thoughts. So this year specifically, I got in like a really dark place, and it just was spiraling in my head. I felt like shameful and just like gross. And then one day, like I think it was like 4 weeks ago, I just was on Amazon buying some paints, and I'd had a fight with Maddie that day, so I was just like on Amazon just surfing. And when I was about to go into my cart, I saw this book in like the recommended for you, and I don't know why, I just felt like compelled to buy it. I never do this. I usually like think about my purchases so much, but I literally saw it and I was like, Courage Space, like I need that. And it's literally changed my life. Like I don't even know if I believe in God, but like it felt like something like put it there, like it was like necessary for me to get. I don't think that it's for everybody. Like the philosophy of the book is quite taboo, if you will. It challenges a lot of like thoughts and mindsets that are very probably close to a lot of people and very familiar. It's kind of like the opposite of Sigmund Freud's like philosophy or psychology or whatever he does. But for me, it was exactly what I needed to read at exactly the right time. It's not even necessarily these like massive, like out of like nowhere, like crazy concepts. It's like they make sense. It's just hearing it and kind of like rewiring your brain. It's one of those books where I would read like a sentence and then be like, for like 5 minutes just churning it. And I'm not saying that like reading a book for everybody is gonna like change their lives, and honestly I probably should still like see a psychologist to get better coping mechanisms, but I'm just out of my head now, which is something I never have been. I'm out of my head. I have so much room for things that aren't like myself. It's like so exciting. I was like the most selfish person ever because I just wanted everybody to love me, and I wanted to be the best at everything when I know I'm not the best at anything. And to be like liked or like feel value, I felt like I just had to be the best at something. I couldn't pick even a feature about myself that I liked because someone else had it better. And like even hobbies, it was hard for me to find a hobby that I actually enjoyed, because in my head I was like, do I actually even like this? There's other people out there who are better than me, so I don't even really like it that much. I need to learn more, I need to do it better. Do I only like this because I think it makes me look cool? And I'm just out of my head now. Like I'm less tired, I think about other people more. It's so exciting because I've never been like this. I think that mostly it's really important for anybody to not take your thoughts as facts. Like feelings aren't facts. They're like fleeting. You have like 1,000 thoughts a minute. Like they can shift, they can change. Every single feeling that you feel at one point in time can do a complete 180 the next second, and it's not factual. They're just, you know, feelings just aren't objective. And for my whole life I've just thought that like my feelings and other people's feelings about me were objective, and this book showed me like the difference between like objectivity and subjectivity, and it's just completely changed like my life. This book should freaking sponsor me. I'm giving the best review of all time to this book. I don't think it's for everybody. I think a lot of people would probably be offended by it, but for me it just came to me at like the most perfect time. So yeah, I just really wanted to share it with you guys. Yeah, really exciting. And I think it's just really important to challenge your thoughts and to talk to other people, because your mind is a really dangerous place to be, especially if you think that your thoughts and feelings are objective. So dangerous to be there by yourself. Like talk to people. It's really important to talk to people and to always be seeking a challenge to your mental health. Someone did ask me like how to open up to people about your mental health. I struggled with this as well because I didn't like to accept the fact that like I was having problems, and I wouldn't like to bring other people down by talking about myself and my issues and stuff like that. But I think with the people that care about you, they would drop anything to make you feel comfortable, whether it's a friend or whether it's a complete stranger, family, or whether it's like a hotline. There are people out there that care. Like personally for me, for people I care about, I would drop anything to talk about their mental health or just their struggles or whatever. So just accepting that people do care is a big step, because I think just talking to people is probably the most important thing about conquering or coping with mental health. And we're gonna be talking about body positivity. Body positivity for me really links in with mental health. People always ask me how to feel confident about your body, like tips on body positivity. I'm really insecure, and it always just like struck me as weird that people would ask me how to be positive or feel good about your body, because I'm probably like the most insecure person you could ever meet, and I don't really think that anyone could entirely help you with your feelings of insecurity. I think it's definitely something that just stems from your own subjective thoughts about yourself. I've in the past been super insecure about my body, and it was always at times where I felt insecure just in life in general. It was like in high school or just fresh out of high school, when I just didn't know who I was at all. I didn't really have a personality, and I felt like my body was my only saving grace, or like my physicalities. I've always been told growing up, like, oh, if you were ugly you wouldn't have any friends, or you're lucky you're pretty because you're dumb. Even though I'm actually not dumb, so I don't know why people say that. But like that was always terrifying to me, because I was like, oh my god, I don't even think I'm pretty. So if people think now if I was ugly I wouldn't have any friends, that means I've seriously got some work to do. Like, so I just placed my entire value in my looks. I had no personality besides talking about myself, pretty much. And even outside of high school, like, I don't want to trigger anybody, but I would like have days where I would literally have like one meal. Like I would eat dinner, that was pretty much it. Like I would have a coffee for breakfast and then eat dinner. And I got to a really skinny stage, and like I felt the exact same. Like I felt insecure still, and I was terrified of like putting on weight. And that was when I was dating this douchebag, and I just felt all we talked about was like each other's looks, and it was just such a big deal what we looked like, what I looked like, and like maintaining that figure and all that sort of stuff. And then I've had times where I've eaten a lot, and I've been like, you know, the biggest that I've been, not necessarily big. I still felt exactly the same. Like being bigger or being smaller never actually changed the way that I really felt about myself, because I hated myself still. I don't think there's anything wrong with feeling like you can improve on yourself physically, as long as you love your body the way that it is anyway. Like you can still love yourself and work on yourself at the same time. And for me, it's knowing that my physical insecurities have nothing to actually do with my physical self. I think it's more so been an outlet for me about my internal insecurities. Like the times where I just felt worse about myself were the times where I would take it out on my body and say, oh, if only I had this, or if only I looked like this, if only I lost a few kilos, I would be fine, I would have no worries in the world. But it just doesn't work that way. And now I honestly, I feel like a good person, and I feel like talking about the way that I look is not offensive, but it takes away from myself. I'm like, there's way more to me than what I look like, and so I don't really like talking about like physical insecurities or anything, because it just doesn't matter to me. I definitely have them, but they're not at the forefront of my brain, because there's way more for me to work on and focus on that's like internal. But I've also found it really like inspirational or just comforting to find like relatable bodies for me, like just beautiful bodies. There's nothing wrong with looking like an Instagram model, like with the super hourglass figure or anything like that. Those bodies are beautiful in themselves, and I think it's just important to find a body that's relatable to you. For me, I love history. You guys know I love history. And I've been super into ancient Greece at the moment, and looking at the artwork and just the depictions of the Greek goddesses and everything. Their bodies were just beautiful and like voluptuous, just so beautiful. And that was what was beautiful back then, still beautiful now, and it's just relatable. Like they look like my body, I guess. It's like comforting to see that, and it makes me feel good about myself. Like usually when I look in the mirror I'm like, ew, and now I'm like, yes. I look like a Greek goddess, which sounds so stupid. I hate that I just said that, but it's just important to find something that's relatable to you and comforting to you without feeling like bringing other women down. People are going to be subjective about your bodies. People are going to be so rude, tell you what to do, make comments about you, but it changes nothing about you. So yeah, I feel like body positivity is kind of a hard thing to talk about, because it's really like case by case, and it's a very personal thing for people. There's you know, so many beautiful bodies out there, yours included. It's the skin that covers your bones and your muscles, and it gets you to and from places. It eats. That sounded really weird. Your body eats. I was picturing something really disgusting. Anyway, moving on. Something that kind of ties in with body positivity. Something that kind of ties in with body positivity and feeling sexy is sex and love. This is a thing I used to talk about on my channel all the freaking time. When I watch those videos, I just want to punch myself in the face. Anyways, we're moving on. Everybody asks me about one night stands and like hooking up, Tinder. Do I bring guys over to my house? What does my mum think? No. It's actually kind of laughable that I get asked that, because I'm just like, no. Not that I'm opposed to doing that for other people, but personally, yeah, what can I say? I've been watching Sex and the City lately, and I've just been, I don't know, it's really made me think, why do I make such a big deal about like having one night stands or like just having flings with guys, like random things? And I don't know if it's just the fact that I hate sleeping over at other people's houses. Like, I just don't want to wake up at someone else's house, and I don't want to fall asleep there. I just want to go home by myself. I don't even know, but it has made me think about it, because I was really set in my ways, and now I'm like, could that work? I don't think so for me. I really like think it's cool that other women do it, because I wish, because it's been a while, but like, yeah, I don't know if it's like, I feel like I've always, like, since I broke up with my ex so long ago, I think it's been like 3 years now, I've just had this like resentment towards men. I don't know why. I think it's because I felt like I was missing out on something, and then I got in some shitty situations, and then I was like, ew, just being with men, like they hold me back. Like, I've just had this resentment towards like relationships in general, and like sleeping with people, men. Yeah, like I've always thought, oh, they're gonna hold me back. Like, what are they gonna bring to the table? What are they gonna offer me? They'll just be holding me back. But I've like tried to shift my mindset now to be like, can I maintain myself in a relationship? Or what am I gonna bring to the table? And honestly, right now, like, I'm so excited at the thought that one day I'm gonna get married. Like, I can't believe it. I'm so excited, because I just can't wait to find my equal. Like, I can't wait, I mean, you know, I just can't wait to find someone that like I just am obsessed with, but like in the best way possible. Like, I don't want to forfeit any part of myself to be with them, and right now I just don't trust that I could do that with anybody. So I'm not on the hunt for anyone at all, and I can't really sleep with people if I don't feel like being with them. So it's a dry spell for me at the moment, but I am excited at the thought of it. But right now, I don't know, I just feel like I'm trying to figure out all this new stuff, all these new ideas, and I just feel like my security at the moment is just too fragile. Like, it's not habitual for me yet. So I don't trust that I could fully still be myself when I'm with someone. I feel like I'm the kind of person that kind of like, rather than being two people separately together, I like kind of morph into that person and they become like a huge part of me. And so right now I just don't really trust myself to maintain this new found confidence or new like security. It's just too fragile for me at the moment. But a lot of people ask me questions, like specific questions about like relationships, like what to do if a guy likes pictures, and this guy says he likes me but he's dating someone still, all that sort of stuff. I think it kind of just boils down to having empathy and respecting yourself and other people. Relationships aren't the be all and end all of life. Take it from me, I always think that they are. There's so much time for everything, so much time for all of that, especially when you're young. It's such a good time to figure things out for yourself and make sure that you're bringing stuff to the table and that people are respecting you and that you're respecting others as well. Having empathy in a relationship is really important, because a lot of the time I feel like people ask things or expect things from their partner that they wouldn't necessarily do themselves, and vice versa. So like, if someone says someone is hot or if someone likes someone's pictures, I would always think, now me, if I was in a relationship, back when I had a boyfriend I would not, but I try and think now, like, I still think people are hot. Are you liking boys' photos? Like, do you follow Chris Hemsworth or anything? Like Henry Cavill? It's about setting boundaries, I feel, and having empathy and being honest and loyal and communicating. Obviously, I have a lot of successful relationships, so take it from me. And then moving on to the last thing, which I have the least to say about, because I have the least experience. Friends. Oh my god, we've been in ISO for so long that I don't even remember if like I even have friends. Do I have friends? Like I don't remember. I've always struggled with friends just based purely on like feelings of inferiority and already making up my mind before I meet someone of the fact that they're just not gonna like me. And so I definitely give off like desperate vibes, and I definitely give off like insecure vibes. And I think it's been difficult for me to maintain friendships because I just like think that people don't like me already. So I just can't be bothered at the moment. Like that's, yeah. I'm not the best person to ask about friends because I'm just a horrible person at maintaining friendships. I'm really good at making friends. I just suck at like keeping them because I hate texting people. I hate like making plans, and I hate like hanging out with people because like I could just be home by myself. So I'm really not a good person to ask, but we'll do it anyway. Topics of not fitting in. Someone asked me specifically like, I feel like I don't fit in because I've got an old soul or something. It was something along the lines of that. And I just feel like if you feel like you don't fit in, you're probably trying to fit in into a group that you just don't fit in. Like if you feel like you're not fitting into a certain group, I think you probably need to ask yourself what you're trying to fit in with. There's a lot of pressure, especially when you're younger, to be like a certain type of person. And in high school especially, it's pretty like detrimental. Like outside of high school, it's pretty hard to make friends, but it's pretty easy to become yourself for me. I've realized that like I hate techno music, and for so long I've been like hanging out with people that love techno music and I just hate it. Like I'll go to festivals or like day festivals, clubs, and I'm like, God, I hate this music. I hate it so much. And I've been like, why can't I just like it? Everybody else likes it. Like I'm just not fitting in with this vibe. And now I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Like I just don't like it, so I'm not gonna go. That's a really random. Can you tell that like my camera died halfway through this video and now I'm just like, my brain's not working, so I'm just talking shit at this point. What are we even talking about? Friends. I don't have any, so I don't know what to say. Just don't put so much pressure on yourself to fit in with a certain group. If you don't fit in with those people, then you're probably not meant to. So just try and spend that time working on yourself and figuring out what you actually like when no one else is there. Because thinking about who you would be and what you would do if no one else was in the room can be daunting, but it can also be really eye-opening because you figure out actually what's important to you and the types of people that you really should be surrounding yourself with and are worth your time. And in ISO, that's actually the perfect time to do that because you kind of have to. I feel like I've actually come into my own person for the first time in my life. That's all I've ever wanted, is to just like feel like a person. And I finally do. So it feels good. And I wonder outside ISO if I have friends. Can't remember. I'm sure I'll make them because I feel pretty good. That's it. I actually don't know what I was just talking about, but we're here and I'm feeling good. I just wanted to film this video just to like start a new chapter. My thoughts and my mindset isn't entirely like habitual yet. Kind of faking it till I make it at the moment. I'm just pulling myself up on things. I'm trying to work with myself cohesively rather than like punishing myself, I guess. So I wanted this to like signify a new chapter on my channel of honesty, just being myself, being honest. I just said that, and I'm really hungry. As I said, don't take anything too seriously with what I said. This is gonna be good times on my channel from now on, because I'm not scared of being bad, and that is all. Let's take a Polaroid to like, you know, what's that? Polaroid, me and my besties. I don't even know what setting this is meant to go on. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fantastic. This probably isn't gonna work. I don't really know what settings to put them on. Oh yeah, this is looking good, guys. It's looking real good. I'm putting this up on my wall. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I love you guys so much. I hope you guys are doing well as well. This is such a shit time, I feel. I'm gonna leave like the numbers or websites for some hotlines or resources like that. If you feel like you need to chat to anyone. I've also got my Instagram, and my DMs are always open even though I'm in no position to be giving any advice. Sometimes it's just nice to talk to people. I think this is all it's gonna do for us, but honestly it turned out way better than I thought it would. Fantastic. But thank you so much for watching if you did make it this far. I love you so much, and I'll see you in a new video. Peace out. Thanks for watching. This is probably really long. Sorry. Love you.